My name is Argan. This story happened to me about 3 years ago during the cold days of winter. That evening, my younger brother suddenly fell very ill. His temperature spiked up to 40 degrees Celsius. None of the medicine at home helped, so we rushed him to the city hospital. By the time we finished all the paperwork and got a room, it was already 11 at night. In the emergency ward, nurses and doctors were hurrying back and forth. In the corners of the corridors, patients with injuries and sick people were sitting quietly, and the strong hospital smell made the whole place feel heavy and suffocating. We were placed in a small room, just my brother and me. He was given some medicine and fell asleep. I sat down on a couch nearby, scrolling through my phone, watching videos on YouTube to stay awake. Around 1:30 a.m., the door of our room slowly opened and an old woman peeked inside. She just stood there, silently staring at me with cold, lifeless eyes. I quickly got up and asked, "Ma'am, are you looking for someone?" But she said nothing, just slowly closed the door and left. I was confused. I stepped into the corridor, but there was no one there. Not a single nurse or security guard. To calm myself, I thought maybe it was just another patient who had lost her way. Not long after, the hallway lights flickered off and then came back on. A cold breeze passed through our room, though the windows were closed. My little brother shivered as if someone had grabbed his leg in his sleep. I got up, gave him some water, and tucked him in. At around 2:45 a.m., I felt someone watching us from outside the window. I looked carefully, and there she was. That same old woman. She was holding an old torn bag, her face covered, but her eyes visible, cold and empty. I panicked and went to find a nurse. I told her everything, but she didn't seem surprised. She said, "A lot of people die here. When you're exhausted, you start seeing things. Rest a little." I went back to the room, locked the door from inside, and closed the curtains. I sat beside my brother, my heart racing. Eventually, I dozed off from exhaustion. At around 3:15 a.m., the door quietly creaked open again. This time, the old woman entered the room and spoke. "Son, give me some water." Her voice was hoarse and chilling. Her hands were blue and frozen. Every step she took echoed through the room. I was paralyzed with fear, couldn't move a muscle. Gathering every bit of courage, I slammed the door shut. And then she started softly knocking on the door. Each knock made my heart race, cold sweat running down my back. Just then, another nurse on night duty happened to pass by and heard the knocking. She came into the room and asked what was going on. I told her everything in detail. She looked calm and said, "10 years ago, an old lady passed away in this very room. Before she died, she kept asking for water. It's said that her restless spirit still roams here, asking for water. Some people see her, some hear her knocks at night." That night, I stayed away from the door and window. My brother kept waking up in fear, too. At dawn, we called a local religious elder to come, who recited prayers and sprinkled holy water around the room. Since then, I never went back to that hospital, and I will never forget that night. Friends, sometimes places carry restless souls, spirits who never found peace. Always remember to pray and ask for protection from evil.